Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to my shop. I've had this radio playing for about an hour now, and it's consistent. It's not fading, nothing happening to it. So I think it's time to do two things. One is to check some voltages on the grids, um, especially around these old capacitors that are in the set. Just double check to make sure there's nothing leaking. And then it's time to do an alignment. So let's tip it up here. So I do have the alignment instructions and the schematic. Beautifully drawn schematic, really nice to look at. Okay, well, we just had a power failure here in my house. General neighborhood power failure lasted only about 10 minutes. I probably get a power failure for, non-storm related reasons. Once a year, twice a year, maybe. Usually lasting about 10 minutes, which suggests to me it's some switching going on. And so that's a little scary when you're in a shop like this and all of a sudden the lights all go out. I have had it happen where I was just turning something on when the lights went out and I thought I blew the whole city hydro system out of my basement here, but it turned out just a coincidence. Now, I've had something funny happen here. The power came back on, and I have an automatic motion sensor light in my shop here, which is just normally on. When I'm in here, I have to stay really still for quite a while before it'll automatically shut off. But it's just going on and off over here. There it is. So, I don't know what happened to it. I mean, it has some sensitivity settings, but I don't know how they could have gotten changed. There's the sensor way up there. Right there. So we'll just, I don't know, I unplugged it and plugged it back in. Maybe I did that too fast. Let me unplug it again here. I'll just leave that unplugged for a while. Good thing I improved my shop lighting yesterday. I installed another light. Here it is right here. And so I have a couple lights on the motion sensor. So anytime I come in the shop, some lights come on right away. And the rest of them I operate manually. So anyway, enough about the lights. I did manage to turn the power off to the radio while I was in the dark here. And the last thing I was saying, I'm going to have to repeat a few things now. This radio had been operating continuously for about an hour, no problems at all. So I think I'm going to do an alignment. Before I do that, I want to check voltages. So let's turn it back on. Check voltages on either side of some capacitors. If you watched my last video, you will have seen where I find two leaky capacitors pushing up grid voltage on an audio preamp tube, resulting in low or no output from the radio. And in testing more capacitors in that radio, I found more of them that appeared to be leaky, and they were all of the same type, which was a molded capacitor, a brown colored one, easily recognized. I see them in a lot of European radios, and they always look bad. The outer shell casing shrinks and cracks all over the place, and stuff comes out of them, and they just look bad. And in fact, in that radio, I took 16 of them out. And the radio worked like new afterwards. Well, I don't know about like new, but it worked really well. So this guy's... Oh, jeez, what was that? Yeah, no, I'm not nervous in here. No, not one bit. My mouse just... my computer mouse just fell to the floor. I don't know if that kind of stuff makes you jump at your end. Okay, so we're back in business, and we're going to check some voltages. Now, see if I can get your eyeballs onto the meter there. So this is the meter face here. And you're probably going to see the pointer a little bit from your angle. There it is. As I mentioned before, I'm discovering this video camera I'm using works better in low light. And unfortunately, I don't work better in low light. Okay, that's curious. There's some curious things going on with the chassis of the radio, which I think I captured in the first video. And we're set to 150 volts full scale. Let's check the B plus first. It's really impressive that there's no humming in this radio. This radio was built in 1945. Just trying to spot where the capacitor is. Where is it? Okay, so there's the capacitor back there. There's the big resistor. So it's way high. 300 volts. Ooh, wow, that's pretty good. And that one is, oh my gosh, almost 450 volts. This guy's really putting out the high voltage here. Now look at the other side of this resistor. Like on one side, 300, and on the other side, 100. What's that tell you? It tells me this resistor may not be doing so well. Because I think that's a little much of a drop. That's the output tube there, isn't it? Or is that the rectifier? That's the rectifier. So let's take a look at the output tube. The output tube is, I believe it's this guy down here. Down here. So he's getting pretty good. He's getting 275. That's interesting. This is one of those situations where I think that capacitor is bad. So this one here has 260 on one side and about 20 on the other, so that's a suspicious one too. That's the auxiliary input here. One side The other side, nothing. So even that guy might be open. Okay, let's go look at a few others. Nothing on either side there. Yeah, about 100 volts on that side. Nothing on the other. That's what I like to see. Nothing on either. Zero there. Small positive there. Oh, I don't like the look of that. Okay, this one here. Give it a moment. I think there was a higher voltage on it when I touched the meter against it. The voltage seemed to be sucked away. Let's see if it builds up again. Yeah, very much so. I touched that. So it looks like we're changing this one, this one, this one, this one. There's no voltage on either side of this. But that looks like that's what we're doing. I'm going to get you to watch the meter when I touch this side. You'll see what I mean by bleeding off the voltage. Unfortunately, I can't get my camera any closer right now. Yeah, this is going to be hard to see. I'll make the meter a little more sensitive. Okay, so keep your eye on this meter here. I'll try and hold this as still as I can. And what you should see is the meter will jump up and quickly go back. And then as I make and break the contact, it won't jump up again because I will have bled away the charge. Watch. Are we all set on this? Everybody watching? There, you see it jump up, fade back, and now as I remake the connection, it doesn't return. It will return though if I allow it time to leak up a charge. There it is again. So those capacitors are causing us trouble. That's all we need to see right now. So that's what we're going to work on, is replacing 1, 2, 3, 4 capacitors to begin with. 3 are very important to replace. And we'll go from there.